I got the style and profile like never before.
Hey, hey, hey. Yo, I didn't really like this theme music too much when I first heard it. It was something about it that I did like, though. But it has grown on me. I be driving down the road in my car, and then I hear it in my head, and I just start bobbing my head, and no music on. I've listened to an audiobook or something, and my head will just start bobbing. It's growing on me. So good morning. It's hump day. It's hump day, man. How y'all doing? It's been a busy week for your boy. I see y'all done got the party started already. Let me go back to the So this morning I posted at 6:04. 6:04. And I already see, I think I just made things worse because that chick Yo was first in the building. Oh man, D-Raw was right behind her though. And Toronto come in like, I guess I can share my number one spot. I love it. I'm glad you guys are feeling the show, liking the space, liking the community. That's what I hoped for from the very beginning, and to see it actually come to fruition is a beautiful thing. So shout out to everybody this morning. Shout out. Hope everybody had a great day yesterday. There's so much in the chat. It's not possible for me to go back and look at everything in there right now. But what I will say is I'm scrolling. Texas barbecue. I see some Texas barbecue. Yep. What else did I see? Just random conversations. Okay, cool. But yeah, me and wife were in Fort Worth back in May. And we had some great barbecue. But look, I like catfish, preferably fried. But when we were in Fort Worth, we had some smoked catfish. And when I tell you, this was some of the best fish I'd ever eaten. Some of the best fish I'd ever eaten. And I'm a big North Carolina barbecue fan. Southern barbecue, but mostly North Carolina. Texas. Now, certain places in North Carolina you got to go because we known for it. It's barbecue joints everywhere, and all of them ain't really that good. But it's a few. Yeah. But we went to 2 in Texas, and both of them were pretty doggone good. So anyway, today we are doing another case study. And if you've already seen it, you know who we doing it on. Chadwick Aaron Boseman. Chadwick Aaron Boseman. One of the guys that I think at his peak, he left us. Stage 3 colon cancer is what he was diagnosed with. And that's eventually what took him, away from us. And he leaves behind a very supportive family. I believe he married not long before he passed, so a wife. I'm not sure if there's a child in that union or not. I don't think so, but this man left a legacy, and he did it very, very fast, or seemingly he did it very, very fast. So what I want to do today is I want to go ahead and get into the gratitudes. And then coming out of the gratitudes, I want to just go right into our case study. Because it's kind of a lot to go through. And so I don't wanna run up against the top of the hour like we did yesterday. I want to respect you guys' time and get you out in a timely fashion. So let's go ahead and hop right into these gratitudes and get this show started. Let's go to the waterfall today. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for new opportunities, fresh starts, fresh days, beautiful people, new relationships. I'm grateful for that new relationship energy. It's amazing. It's intoxicating. I'm grateful for the influence, for the community that we're developing and we're growing here. I'm grateful for the feedback, the unasked for criticism at times, but I'm grateful. I'm grateful for those who care enough to want to see this show become more and better. I'm grateful for the friendships, the reunions, the connections that are forming in these walls. And I'm grateful for the energy that we're taking away into our daily lives. So I'm grateful and thank you all. Now, I know many of you already has an idea of who Chadwick Boseman is, what he's done, but sometimes we don't get a chance to truly see the backstory. We don't get a chance to understand where people come from, and if they reach a certain level of prominence, we put them on pedestals and we immortalize them, we goat them, and we think they're special. We think they're different. But truth of the matter is, most people, they're just regular people who just refuse to quit. They're regular people who were intentioned, who were focused. No different than either you or I. So let's go ahead and get into it, and we're gonna have a nice little discussion this morning. Muted all of a sudden. All right, I'm back now. I was muted all of a sudden for some crazy reason. Not sure why. My system is trying to stop my shine this morning. No, I know. My system just hmm. Let's do this. Yep. Un momento, un momento. Let me try to get my other. Oh, you know what? Yeah, for some reason my AirPods just connected. I tell you, I love Apple sometimes, but sometimes I don't. My freaking AirPods just connected to my audio, which is why nobody heard anything for a second. All right, we're back. Let's go. All right. Can you hear?
Element of you. It is the reason you are on the planet at this particular time in history. Your very existence
Oh,
is
I'm
wrapped
sorry.
up in the things you are here to fulfill. Remember,
Yeah,
the
man.
struggles along the way
It's
are
my
only
fault,
meant
but it's
to
not my
shape
fault
you
at the same
for your
time.
purpose. I don't know what your
Because I'm looking
future
at
is,
everything. You should be hearing it now,
but
right?
if you are willing to take the harder way,
No?
the more
Maybe when
complicated
this.
one, the one with more
Now?
failures at first than successes,
Okay.
the one that has.
All right. Too many things happened this morning, y'all. Forgive me, please. It's not my fault, but it is. Oh, wow. That's very loud.
Everybody is the hero in their own story. You know,
Right.
like you should be the hero in your own story. You should see yourself conquering, the dramatic action of whatever you're trying to do. So when you get to crisis, you know how to deal with it. And there are people that come in and help you with your story, but you have to be the person who deals with the conflicts that are in place. Nobody else can. There's no Deus ex machina
Right.
that's going to come in and save it for you. Even if you pray to God, God expects you to do some things.
Right now, I urge you, in your breath, in your eyes, in your consciousness, savor the taste of your triumphs today. Don't just swallow the moment whole without digesting what has actually happened here. Look down over what you conquered and appreciate what God has brought you through. Purpose crosses disciplines. Purpose is an essential element of you. It is the reason you are on the planet at this particular time in history. Your very existence is wrapped up in the things you are here to fulfill. Remember, the struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose. I don't know what your future is, but if you are willing to take the harder way, the more complicated one, the one with more failures at first than successes, the one that has ultimately proven to have more meaning, more victory, more glory, then you will not regret it. Now, this is your time.
All right, y'all. Let's talk about Chadwick Aaron Boseman real quick. He was a hey, this is I'm just leaving the scroll going. This is his family. He has three brothers, mother, father. He's from Anderson, South Carolina. And anybody who has been on this side of 85 going into Georgia, you pass through Anderson. Anderson is like, I think Clemson is kind of located in Anderson or around that area. So it's almost local because I drive that area so often. I've gone through that time so many times, and so I'm really familiar with the area. It is not a big town. It's not a really progressive city. And in the time when Chadwick was born, which I think he was born in 1976, we're pretty much the same age. I think I might be older than him by like 11, 11 months or so. For those of you who into that astrology, he's a Sagittarius, if that makes any sense or whatever. But Chadwick was a really bright kid, come from a really good family. He grew up in the time in the South where it was still a lot of racism. He shared stories, in interviews about him being almost run off the road, being called the N-word, trying to get ice cream, and his mom having to restrain him, his family going back and forth over, keeping him safe and out of harm and not sparking, national news stories. And so he grew up like most of us, normal, everyday, average kid. But there was one thing he had a love for. He really wanted to be an architect. He wanted to design things, build things. He was really big into martial arts. He learned, I think it was karate he studied for some time. He also got into basketball, and he became a really good basketball player. Let me switch that up so y'all can see that. He became a really good basketball player. He won an AAU state championship. He was, I guess, about roughly 6 foot. 6 foot, weight 175. His role models, Malcolm X, his father, which is huge, and Harold Miner. Harold Miner is the one they used to call Baby Jordan because he was such a dominant player in college, but he never bubbled when he got to the next level. I guess his dominance ended at that level. But some of his other interests, oratorical contests. Now, he's a senior in high school, junior in high school in this picture. So oratorical contests, summer food programs, National Honor Society. He was a general dude who, and his parents had a premium. They put a premium on his education. So, but he's the guy that we've all went to school with. Most of us, some of us guys, we were this. Well, I was never in the honor society. I never was in any oracle any oracle competitions either. I was in some other stuff, but not that particular thing. But it's a typical story. And like most typical stories, they hit a crossroad where we have early success in high school. We get to spaces in our life, in our career, or in our early career that I won't say it makes us feel a way, but we think life is sweet because our parents are paying the bills most of the time, because life is giving to us, and some of us we're babied, depending upon your family dynamic. Some of us are having to stand 10 toes down and go work to support the family. I mean, whatever your story was, is not an uncommon story. We all have that experience, or somebody we know has that experience. And the point I'm trying to make early on as we go on, as special as Chadwick was the things that he did, all of us have that same gift, that same ability that he had. Our skill set, our talent may be slightly different, but the inner thing that he had that made him special, we all have that. We all have that. And so he graduates high school and he gets ready to go. He get a bunch of scholarship offers from colleges to play basketball because he was a really good basketball player. But somewhere along the line, he had a friend to get shot. I'm not sure if he died or not, but it's one of his best friends, his teammates on his basketball team was shot. And he was inspired to write a play, I think, called Crossroads. After one of his older brothers, he's the baby of the three. He went to a play where his brother was a dancer a theatrical dancer. And he was inspired after that play to write this short film or this play called Crossovers. And that was the thing that kind of made him decide he didn't want to go to college to be an architect. He didn't want to go to college to play basketball. He wanted to pursue the arts. He wanted to be a playwright and a director. That's all he really wanted to do. And honestly, he didn't even get into acting. He didn't even start acting until he was having some trouble trying to get in, understand the actors. So he started taking acting classes just so he could understand the other actors better. And some of his, of course, was Malcolm X. He loved Malcolm X. He loved the character Malcolm X. And so he decided, I can do this. I wanna do this. So
I received a call from one of those students in that class, and they said, "Oh, Ms. Rashad, we just want to thank you. We want you to know that we auditioned for the British Academy of Dramatic Arts Midsummer Program, and we got in." And I said, "Well, that's great." And they said, "But we're not going to go." And I asked, "Why not?" And they said, "Because we don't have the money to go. We can't afford it." And I said, "I don't know. You're going. You're going. You pack your bags and be ready. You're going." So
And so the deal was he chose to go to Howard University. And while he was at Howard, he decided he wanted to understand the actors better. So he took an acting class. And this was his professor, Claire Huxtable, Felicia Richard, America's favorite mom. Yeah. You see the design, right, of his life. He's excelling at a young age. He's doing things that most of us did, but the debate team, my school didn't have a debate squad. I probably would have done that. Oratorical contest, they didn't have that. I probably would have done that. But he took advantage of what he had in his environment. Wanted to be an architect, but got inspired by a tragedy in his life to do something else. And now he's pursuing that. You see, no grass is growing under his feet. He's constantly going. And so good that they applied to, what was it, the British Academy of British American Drama Academy. And got in. I think it was 8, 9 of them got in. But of course, you got to fly. You got to have hotels. You got to stay for the whole summer to be in this summer program. Of course, they didn't have the money to do it. So he reached back out to his professor, who, the circle, see the connections now? When you are on the path of excellence, you get surrounded by people who do excellent things. And now your network grows. Now your reach grows.
I made a phone call to a friend of mine.
There are always those that came before. There wouldn't be a Denzel without a Sidney, or a Sidney without a James Edwards, or James Edwards without whoever the guy was back then. It's our job to pass the baton and share what we know, and it's my job. That's the way I look at it. Can't take it with you, so all you can do is leave it here.
Jake. And so basically, what is happening in his life right now is his dream, his goal has changed. And so now, instead of pursuing the architectural path, he felt a spark of something. And he realized, I think I like writing more. I think I like telling stories more. So he pursued that. He didn't waver too long, saying, "Oh man, let me go to architecture school first. Let me try this out. And if that don't work, then No, he made a decision. He made a decision. And he went to Howard University, enrolled in his major, took additional classes to be better to able to communicate. See, talk about communication this week. And in that, he found another passion, some resources, some help. And so him and his class spent all summer in London in this British Academy. He's basically, as they say, he's traveling abroad. He's learning abroad. He's getting educated in another atmosphere, in another country, learning different skills, different techniques, things that were not common to him and in his story. And he even actually had a chance to go to Africa that summer. He had a chance to go to Africa and reconnect with some of his roots. And then along the way, he come back, but he's going through this period of self-doubt. And now he's starting to question everything that he's done because he's not having some of the successes that other people were having. He's not seeing the results that other people were happening. So like most of us, when we start looking around and comparing, we become discontented with our life, with our lot, with our situations. And so for him, at this point, he's walking through campus. He's back at Howard now. He's walking through campus, and then this happens.
I remember walking across this yard on what seemed to be a random day, my head down, lost in my own world of issues, like many of you do daily. I'm almost at the center of the yard. I raised my head, and Muhammad Ali was walking towards me. Time seemed to slow down as his eyes locked on mine and opened wide. He's raised his fist into a quintessential guard. I was game to play along with him, to act as if I was a worthy opponent. What an honor to be challenged by the GOAT, the greatest of all time, for a brief moment. His face was as serious as if I were Frazier in the Thriller in Manila. His movements or flashes of a past greater than I can imagine. His security let the joke play along for a second before they ushered him away. And I walked away floating like a butterfly. I walked away amused at him, amused at myself, amused at life for this moment that almost no one would ever believe. I walked away light, ready to take on the world.
And so he goes on. That moment motivates him and inspires him to truly stand up and pursue his career. So he graduates and he goes to New York, and he's in theater. He's writing plays. He's doing a lot of things that he's wanted to do, but he's struggling, y'all. You ever heard the term starving artist? Yeah, look at a young Chadwick. He's struggling. He's trying to figure it out. And so he's getting small roles. He's doing some theatrical work here and there. That's right. He said, that chick Yo said, you lose focus by comparing to other people. That's right. You have to be on your purpose. And what keeps you on your purpose? What separates the people who kind of have success from the people who actually realizes true success are the ones who stay on task. You know, when I was growing up, and it still happened today, there used to be this term called men standing on their square, meaning they have their principle and they're willing to fight for it. And the closest thing I can give you, picture you got one tire, and boxers do this a lot. You have one tire, just a car tire, regular car tire. Two people, both put a foot inside the tire. They both got on boxing gloves or bare fists, depending on where you're from. Somebody's foot coming out that tire ain't gonna be mine, so it gotta be yours. And so you fight that close. That's what standing on the square is. That's what being determined to succeed, no matter what the cost. Most people don't want to fight, period, much less fight that close to somebody when you can find. It's like having a fight in a phone booth. You can't run, and that's life. Life is the phone booth. You can't run from it. Life gonna give you all it can give you. However, life not gonna win most of the time. Life just gonna put enough pressure on you to make you question yourself, to see how bad you really want it. And one of the things that gets us through, yes, the Saint and Creed, exactly. And one of the things that gets us through life is the ability to communicate, the diversity of experiences. And so if you think back to this story of Chadwick right so far, he has had a very normal childhood, but he grew up in a racist environment where he's had to learn self-control at an early age. He's had successes on the basketball team, winning state championships. He's had, matter of fact, his senior year in high school in an oratorical contest, he placed 8th in the nation as a speaker or a debater. But he's grabbing all these experiences, and then his friend gets shot. Then he watches his brother go and perform, and he gets inspired to write. And he wrote a story called Crossroads, or a play called Crossroads. And he was so excited about it, he decided, you know what? I'm going to school for this. Not forget architecture. I want to do something that's more meaningful. I want to do something that matters, that reaches people. Malcolm X was one of his heroes. His dad was one of his heroes. People who influenced the community, people that influenced others. He was starting to get on that track, but he wanted to do it through storytelling. So the image on the screen was actually the first thing that he did. Hieroglyphic graffiti, written and directed by Chadwick Boseman in 2002. This was the first production that he did. It didn't get, critical praise, but it was the first thing out of the gate. It was the first thing that he experienced and had success with, not even great success, just had success with. And so then he goes on to other places, and actually that film was debuted in Winston-Salem at a film festival. And so after that, he spent weeks doing commercials. He's working with children, teaching them how to act. He's doing a lot of things that just to eat, basically. I think he did voiceover work. He did like fast food commercials, voiceover work. He did audio books. Matter of fact, that's a Subway commercial right there. He did a lot of voiceover work, and that's the only thing that sustained him. Matter of fact, this audio book called Upstate, it was nominated for a Grammy some years ago. And so he's had a storied struggle story like no other. He didn't know how he was going to eat, how he was going to survive, how he was going to make it for many years.
I was a struggling artist. Yeah. I the best way to put it is, I was doing everything I could artistically to sort of stay in it. I did a lot of voiceovers. I didn't do on camera commercials. I even did an audio book. I did an audio book that got nominated for a Grammy.
Nice. Did you get the nomination, or
I can't even remember. Upstate. That was the name of it. Upstate. Okay. Yeah.
In 2000.
And so then this show, Third Watch. I've never seen this show. I've never heard of this show. Matter of fact, he's not even on the cover, which tells you how small of a role. And so he goes through the next few years just struggling, little role here, little role there. And then he even tells the story that he got this daytime TV show role. I think it was on All My Children. if I'm not mistaken. And he started doing the show, and it was good. The producers, they liked him, and they asked him. They said, "Hey," they brought him in. They said, "Hey, we really like what you're doing. Keep up the good work. If you have any concerns or any needs, whatever, just feel free to hit us up. Let us know." So he went back. He told this story in a couple of different interviews. I don't have that clip, but he goes back and he was like, "Yeah, I was reading the script, and so my character is, his dad was he has a deadbeat dad, and his mom is on drugs. I mean, where's the arc for this character? Is there going to be some kind of development? It's a little stereotypical. Can we change it up a little bit to give this guy more of an arc?" Well, they decided that wasn't his place. So basically, his agent called him the next day and said he had been fired, and they replaced him just like that. And if you're doing daytime TV, you know how much money that is, even in the small roles. If you can get a recurring role in a successful daytime show, The lead actors in this show, they're probably making somewhere around. Y'all remember when Friends was making $1 million an episode back in the day? In their final season? Well, these daytime actors, especially on shows like All My Children, where they've been running for years, I mean, they're making millions upon millions. At Toronto, no, it really wasn't their loss. You know who they found to replace him? Some little unknown kid called Michael B. Jordan. Some little unknown kid called Michael B. Jordan, you know. He kind of washed out. You know, we never heard his name anymore. You know, Michael B. who? I don't know. He's a Michael Jordan clone, I guess. I don't know. Who is that guy? Oh, yeah, that's a whole other thing there. Stealing from living single. That's right. They did. Yeah, Michael B. Jordan replaced him on All My Children. Michael B. Jordan said, look, I don't care what role this is. I don't care if it's mama and his daddy on crack. I'm gonna get this money. I'm gonna play this role. I'm not that principal, right? But anyway, all that to say, it's so much talent out there. Everybody in this community is talented, is gifted, is smart, is brilliant. But as good as we are, if we fell off the face of the earth tomorrow, we could all be replaced. Maybe not immediately, but at some point we can all be replaced. The only thing that separates us from the next person outside of our DNA is our drive. It's our perception. It's our will. Those internal things. The same thing that Chadwick Boseman had, we all got within us. We all got it within us. And there's nobody who is too important to lose. There's nobody who can't be replaced. However, you can become so valuable that they're willing to pay whatever cost to have you there. And that's the goal. That is the goal. To be so valuable that you change cultures, that you change hearts and minds, you inspire people at an all-time level. My grandmother, you said something, and actually I named yesterday's show this, and I never even referred back to it. So those who called that, kudos to you. But I called it the minute I closed the show yesterday. I never even said anything about the title. Your grandma was right. Meaning, if you don't have nothing good to say, shut up. Keep your mouth closed. Don't say nothing at all. This is your time. Shakespeare said it another way. All the world is a stage. What's the quote? All the world's a stage. Every man and woman are playing their part. Something like that. But all the world's stage is the main quote. And it's a Shakespeare quote. My Uncle George said it this way. The game don't change. Only the players. Meaning, we have a finite time on this earth. We have a finite time with family, with friends. Some people give up life at 30, 26, but they keep living another 40, 50 years, 60 years even, and they never do anything of substance. They never strive to do anything because it was hard. They just existed. To me, that is the biggest waste of life, because we have so many opportunities, especially now in the society and the world that we live in. The world has gotten so small. You can do business anywhere. You can fight for any cause. You can have an opinion about everything. But most people, they still sit back and they wait for other people to do stuff. They watch other people live life. They watch other people prepare and study, get ready for the next level, and they just watch. And they just happen to say, oh, I knew that person. I know that person. Oh, yeah, I went to school with her. I went to school with him. Oh, yeah, that's my frat brother right there. Guess what? anything that this person did, you probably could have done something very similar. Had you wanted to. Had you had the drive and the desire. And so our good brother Chadwick, he was on a mission. And honestly, it really was just to produce. And not to produce, to direct and to write plays. That's really all he wanted to do. But acting was how he was making his money, how he was paying his bills, whether it was voice acting or on screen. So he kept getting these little small roles. And then that show Third Watch pop up. But then his mentor told him, you need to get out of New York and you need to go to the West Coast. You need to go to Cali. Cali is a machine and it'll eat you up. But you have what it takes to do it. I believe in you. His agent said, you know what? Let's not go there. Let's stay here. We got some momentum going here. So he listened to his agent and he stayed there. But after a couple of months, some kept poking him. And so he was like, you know what? I think I will go to Cali. So he went out to Cali. And soon as he get out there, he have instant success. He books his first role almost immediately. What was the name of the show? Oh yeah, this is the clip of him on I think it's All My Children. Yeah, on All My Children. And then because he was principal, you know, they took him on out and they brought, remember when Michael B. Jordan played the character Wallace? Yeah, I remember he was Wallace on The Wire. Matter of fact, and I know it was around the same time because this is how Wallace looked on The Wire. And I was sick. When they took Wallace out. But hey, Wallace was cracking up though. He wasn't built for that life. So if you haven't seen The Wire, boo, it's worth the look to go back and check it out. But yeah, so I forget the name of the movie that Chadwick, he went out there. I'm gonna let me see if I can get to it real quick. Oh yeah, so like before he left, he did a lot of theatrical hip hop plays. So like everybody's raving about Hamilton now. Well, Chadwick was writing these plays back in the early 2000s, you know, where they said ahead of his time. He was ahead of his time, for sure. For sure. Matter of fact, it's a little clip. Let me play that one for y'all.
I ain't mad at you. Well, guess who's moving up? This nigga's ballin' now. Bitches be calling to get it. Hookers be falling down. He went from nothing to lots. 10 carat to rock. Went from a nobody nigga to the big man on the block. He's Mr. Local Celebrity. Addicted to moving keys. Most hated by enemy. Escaping the luxuries.
Oh man, so babe, you're not alone. Okay, somebody else. I can't fathom who you ain't seen The Wire. You haven't seen The Wire. I don't get it, but okay, whatever it is. It is what it is. So anyway, he goes out to LA, and first rip out the gate, he gets this show right here. And I can't tell you the name of it. Then he gets another show where he's playing Ernie Davis, The Express. And so he's having instant success the moment he touched down. Wait, me neither. You know what? We're going to have to do the Wire case study now. We can't do the Wire case study. We can't do it. We can't do it. Nope. But anyway, so young Chadwick is now, he had some success, but now the flame is starting to burn low. It's not as much fuel in that fire as it once was. And just like life, you have these periods where things are going up and then they kind of stabilize. They level out. And they start to go down just a little bit. And it gets concerning because at this point now you're dependent on this income that you've made. How do you go back to being a starving artist again when you tasted some success? because all the shows that he was on, they did not last a very long time. The best opportunity that he had was that recurring role on All My Children. And I think he said it was like a couple $100,000 that he was making. And they cut him just like that and brought somebody else in. And so and like anybody else, you get mad and you be like, I don't need this job, whatever, I don't need that. But then later you start realizing, man, I'm struggling feeding my family. I'm struggling doing this. I'm struggling to do that. Did I make a mistake? And so he's out there. He's trying to live his best life. He's trying to put the pieces together, but it's hard. And especially in LA where the cost of living is super high. Rent is super high. I can only imagine what rent is right now. If rent in North Carolina is what it is, I can only imagine what rent in LA is right now. I don't know how people survive that way. Actually, I do. They go out and they hustle. And they hustle their butt off. And they make deals. That's how they do it. However, when you got something that's inspiring you, when you got a dream, when you've gone too far to turn back, and that's where the good brother Chadwick Boseman was in that space in his life. And so he's looking for all these roles. He's trying to find something that fit. Wait, what Randy say? They took my broke heart until I watched at least the first season. Season 2 of The Wire started too slow, and I'm still not done 4 years later. Bruh, okay. So, okay, you know what? Let's do this right now. Let's do this right now. All right. Pardon me, Chadwick. We're gonna get back to you, my guy. We're gonna get back to you. So, the reason, and I'm going to try to be as respectful as I can. So I'm going to say this respectfully. Respectfully. The reason you would say power is better yeah, I seen Living Singer too. Good job, boo. Good job. The reason you think power is better is because The Wire was the blueprint. The Wire was the first of its kind. The Wire had a very low budget. And what you had was very skilled, superstar level actors solely from the black community, or primarily from the black community, who started something with no support. And the fact that people are still talking about The Wire today with the budget that it had, the limited viewership that it had, tells you everything you need to know about how good that show was. And had that show came after Power, it would have crushed Power because they would have done it much better. Now, in all fairness, I've only seen one season of Power because I thought Power was lame. Just saying. Well, I ain't gonna say lame. I'll say I thought Power just felt like a knockoff to The Wire to me. That's what I call lame. I thought it was a knockoff. Now, it's a little bit better version of a knockoff than, maybe Empire, but it's still a knockoff. Exactly. Power did what Friends did to Living Single. That's exactly what it was. Now, I heard The Chi was pretty good. I haven't checked The Chi out just yet. But I do plan on watching it because I've seen a couple clips that kind of piqued my curiosity. So it wasn't until, I think, they say it's darkest just before the dawn, right? They say that most of Wait, y'all saying? Hold on, I've been on The Chi. Sounds like it to me. Yep. So most of the okay, this thought's still in my head. So, okay, Idris Elba, he got his start from The Wire. Michael B. Jordan got his start from The Wire. So just those two right there. There's so many more actors out there that I just don't know all their names off the top of my head. But it's like 5 more actors that got their star. Matter of fact, the guy that played the butler in John Wick series. He's Lieutenant Daniels in The Wire. He got his start there. If you watch Star Trek Discovery, or it's a couple other places so she's in, she's what you call his mom. She was a detective in The Wire, Kiva. Also, there is a man, can I think of his name? But chick from I Can Do Better By Myself, Kimberly Elise, her husband in that movie, his little brother was in there. Wood Harris got his start right there. Man, there's so many actors that got their start right there, which tells you how great of a show. They made that show great because of their talent. Script really wasn't that good, but they made that show what it was. Now I'm gonna get off my soapbox now because I've been on that too long. We talk about Chadwick Boseman today. Oh man, so there's a moment when we feel like giving up. We feel like quitting, but we're struggling trying to break through because we've come too far to turn back now. We've come too far to let it go. And so that's where Chadwick found himself around 2008-9 time frame. And he's getting all these small roles, these small movie roles. You know, movie roles, they don't pay you over time. If you do a movie role, you might get paid $10,000. You might get paid $50,000 to do a movie, depending on what the budget is or what role that you have. You might make more in the crew if you're working on the movie versus the person that's actually acting in the movie, just depending. And so he made enough to pay rent, but that was pretty much it. Until he got a call about doing a story about Jackie Robinson.
What was it about him? How did you know he was your guy?
Chadwick came in, he was the second person that auditioned for the part, and there's a very difficult scene in the middle of the movie, and he chose that as the first thing to do, coming in the room, and he was very specific, the choice. It was a very dramatic scene, and a lot of actors would play it down the middle so that they could stay in the running for the part, and he chose a very specific way to go, and it was a brave choice because he easily could have knocked himself out of the running. And I thought he's a brave actor, and he's going to play a brave man.
How'd you get the Robinson part?
I went in and read for it. I went in and read for Vicky Thomas and for Brian Helgeland. You know, I wasn't expecting it at that time because I think I wanted to go back to New York. I had, you know, just the life in New York and the inspiration of New York on my brain.
And so we all know how that played out for him, right? He took the hardest line in there, the most dramatic part of that script. He read it, blew everybody away. He didn't play it safe. He took the hard path. And he blew up from there. And then after that one, he ended up doing James Brown, Get On Up. And you start to see the trajectory starting to go up. And then there was another one, Thurgood Marshall, right? So he started playing all these docuseries, these biopics of these guys. But at this point, he had proven himself so well that Stan Lee from Marvel, they reached out to him and they offered him a 5-movie deal as Black Panther. And he didn't even have to go read for it. Because he had been grinding so hard, putting in so much time, putting in so much work. 5-movie deal that he didn't even have to read for. Can y'all imagine that? He'd been struggling, he'd been straining, scraping by, trying to realize this dream of being a director and a writer, a playwright. But now he's blown up as a bona fide movie star. And now he's inked a deal with Marvel. 5-movie deal. And this deal had to be worth some millions, right? Some millions. And he tells a story that he almost missed it, the opportunity. He was at this right now. We're talking about he was in Zurich, and he was going to this red carpet for another movie that he had done, small movie that he had done, but he didn't have international calling. Now remember, this is 2008-9 time frame. You know, your phone just didn't. Stats still don't do that. You still have to get a calling plan. And it was on his heart real heavy this day to call his mom. And so you know how you get that feeling, that unction. Okay, I need to call my mom. So he went. He secured the calling plan. He called his mom, checked in, everything was good. But then his agent called and said, "Hey, I need you to be on the line in 15 minutes. Marvel want to talk to you." Had he not got the freaking calling plan, had he not listened to the intuition inside himself and did what he knew he needed to do, or what he felt he needed to do, he may have missed the opportunity to be Black Panther. Michael B. Jordan probably would have been Black Panther. As crazy as it sounds, but the whole Black Panther franchise has been an amazing ride. We've all seen it. I don't even need to recap what this franchise was, how important it was to the culture, how important it was to the community. Communication, y'all. And this is his girlfriend. This is the chick he ended up eventually marrying before he passed. Communication is an important thing. When you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. When you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. Now, it definitely wouldn't have been the same because he brought his unique experience to that role, his unique interpretation of that role. I enjoyed Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger. I don't know who else would have done a better job. That was a different role for Michael B. Jordan too. I enjoyed seeing him there. I enjoyed seeing him, Chadwick as T'Challa. I enjoyed seeing that. He is forever imprinted himself in the hearts and mind of us. His legacy will live forever. And for a lot of people, he says he's gone too soon. He's gone too soon. Stage 3 colon cancer. He had so much more to give. So much more to give. But I think it was Denzel who said, no, we would like to say that. We would like to believe that he was gone too soon. But when it really comes down to it, he did what he came to do. He gave us his best.
Journey.
Yeah, he did what he came to do. He gave us his best. He gave us all. He left.
How do you wrap your mind around that?
He did all he could do with what he was given.
Yeah, in the time he had it.
He left it here for us to enjoy. Chad will live forever. Period.
Period. He will live forever in our hearts. So I know he was 43. Was he? Oh, yeah, I think he was 43 when he passed. And for a lot of people, that is too soon. So much more life, so many more things he could have done, so many more experiences. But you can see the progression, the pictures. He's getting smaller. He's getting smaller. He's having surgeries and procedures. He's having all these things happen while he's filming 3-4 of these movies. Even up to the year that he died, he finished production on his last film. He did the Ma Rainey's Black Bottom with Viola Davis. Then he did The Five Hoods, 21 Bridges. I mean, all these done after the Black Panther stuff. And he was continually going and pressing the envelope and doing more and more. And he never wanted to be an actor. Never wanted to be an actor. He just wanted to direct, tell stories. That's really all he wanted. But because he was such an excellent communicator, because he learned early on in life that being able to tell your story, being able to portray your story, communication was the key. It was the key to everything. And so he doubled down on getting better and better at communication. Better at communication. So now is your time. Now is our time to realize the dreams that we have in our hearts, the purposes that we have, the things that we want to do. Now is the time, because we don't know what tomorrow holds for us. Cherish your relationships, build them strong, build them well, leave a legacy. I was talking to my wife the other day, and I told her one of the things that I love about doing this show is that I don't know when I'm going to die. And no number I can say. I mean, I can say I'm 125, right? 125 is kind of just the number that I've been saying for years. Now, do I really want to live to be 125? It depends. If I'm in good health, maybe. Maybe, because I love to see change. I love to see how the world progresses. I love history. I love being a part of history. But ideally, most people only live roughly between 75 and 90. That's the window. And if that's the window, then I got like 20 good summers, maybe 30 good summers left. That's not a lot of time compared to the ones I've already had. And if you're not in good health, coming from the African American community, that number goes down to like 65. And if that's the case, I might not even have 20 good summers left. So what am I doing with my life? This show, no matter when I go, my children can always look back at their dad talking, giving wisdom, giving game in real time. They don't have to just remember, what did dad say about this? What did dad say about that? No, I'm leaving a legacy for my children as well. I mean, God forbid, what happens one day if I'm 80 years old and I start suffering from dementia or Alzheimer's? I will be able to look back at this stuff right now and remember. At least for as long as I can. It may prolong the process. Who knows? But what I'm saying is the work that I'm doing right now matters. And it's all because I learned to communicate. I learned to analyze. I learned to think clearly. I learned to use my words, use my pen, use my skills, my heart to convey what I feel, what I think, what I believe. And just like Chadwick, I'm not special either. I'm special to the people that love me. And when I go, people will miss me. But I'm no more special than you. I'm no more special than Chadwick. He's no more special than me. We all come from the same stuff. But what we decide to do is the difference. How we decide to use our gifts is the difference. And this journey is going to be hard. One step at a time, brick by brick, you got to build it. You got to build it. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to do it for you, but you have to be determined to have a made up mind that I'm going to do it and I'm not going to complain. I'm going to go through whatever I got to go through and I'm not going to complain, because everybody going through something. Everybody has their own stuff. So I'm not going to start a pity party because I don't want to manifest more pity. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to surround myself with people that are doing the things that are moving in the directions that are positive, that are having success. Because if I'm in a successful environment, guess what? Success will knock on my door at some point in time, because I'm going to be prepared when opportunity meets. each other, success is going to happen. And that's another level of self-discovery. That's another level of self-discovery. So, story of Chadwick Boseman. Rest in peace, King. Rest in peace. When I look back at Chadwick's life, I want to combine his name. I feel like sometimes I'm doing life wrong. I feel like I should be doing more. But the truth is, I'm in my process. I'm on my path. I'm getting it when I'm supposed to get it. So no, I'm not a late bloomer. No, this imposter syndrome is unnecessary. I'm getting it when I'm supposed to get it. Just like you. And where you are today is so far below where you're going to be if you stay focused and dialed in. So I'm grateful. And I am more than enough. I am happy. I'm excited. I'm confident. I'm strong. I'm intelligent. I am surrounded by people that support, care, and love me because I am more than enough. I am necessary. I am supposed to be here. I am supposed to do more than people expect of me. I am supposed to set a standard. And I am more than enough. I am the head and not the tail. I am above and not beneath. I am more than enough. I am more than enough. And so are you. We all have the same 24 hours that everybody else has. Nobody gets a minute more or a second more, but it's what we do with those seconds that we get. None of us know how long of a life we're going to have. So it's what we do today that matters. And the accumulation of days determines our history and also our future. So don't waste time fretting over yesterday, and don't waste time dreading the future. The real challenge, the real test is in what we do today, this day, and every day forward, every day that we get. So this has been a fun one. This has been a good one. And I'm excited. You guys have had some great comments. I just want to share one more comment from Monique. I love that about other people who make it. Who make it. They look back to help others and pass the torch. No competition or jealousy, but a way to reach back and help the next person. We all can make it. Facts. We all can make it. There's enough room. There's enough space for all of us to have success, to experience a life of success and fulfillment. Just like if you go into any major city, you see you'll see 3 drugstores on the same corner, 5 fast food restaurants on the same corner, and they all thriving. There's plenty of success. There's plenty of room. But it's only going to be for those who actually decide that they want to be excellent. Those who decide they want to make a difference. They want to fight for something. And you too, if you're willing to go through the hard days, pay the price, you can have it. Life will not exclude you anymore. Systems and people can't really stop you anymore. The choice is truly up to you. And you have the opportunity. It is your time. It is your time to become and be all that you thought you could ever be. All the world's a stage, and we all actors playing our part. Just remember, when you open your mouth, you show the world who you are. You tell them who you are. So if you want to be perceived as stereotypical black person from the movies that they see and they judge, that's cool. If you want to be well-read, well-spoken, that's cool. If you want to be funny, that's cool. I mean, you can be whatever you want. But you have to decide what you want to be. Because if you don't decide, life will put you in a group. And I don't want that for you, because life never really puts people in the groups that is preferable. They put people in spaces to be manipulated and abused. So choose life. Choose life. So yeah, shout out. I got to go back to that chick, yo. She was first in the building today. I'm going to start giving y'all some little prizes, because y'all be doing some stuff in here, man. I appreciate that. D-Rob Training, my guy, the young gun. Toronto Riggin, shout out to you, my sister. Oh, man. Craig G, I know you're listening, my guy. Randy, I appreciate you, brother, for all the input. And yeah, it was a lot happening in The Wire, a lot. But that's what made it so complex. It's not a basic show. You got to have a certain level of intellect to truly understand The Wire, man. It showed you every part of a real life city. A real life city and what was happening in that city from every perspective. It gave you the African American perspective. It gave you the mob perspective. It gave you the crooked cops. I mean, it gave you everything. Everything. So much. But anyway, gonna get off that soapbox. Bobby, hey, appreciate you, boo. I appreciate you so much for all that you do and all the support that you give. Health talk, positive self-talk. All of you, Kay. Hey, I love you. I appreciate you. And tomorrow is Thursday. Yeah, the week is winding down. It is winding down. Thank you for dealing with my sound issues in the beginning, but I figured it out quickly because I understand now what's actually happened with it. Sometimes when I go from one application to the next, it mutes something else, and it doesn't always give me a warning that it's going to mute it. It just does it. But anyway, you guys go make today great no matter what. As my guy Health Talk always says, you be blessed. Live a life worth living, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.